Hello, can I speak to Cameron, please? Thank you. Cameron? Kaka choni? Bijit. Nangubasfia.
On the 14th of February 1996, Karzan Krekar was met by his brother Karzan at a hotel in Prague. It was their first meeting in 4 years. A Kurdish refugee from Iraq, Karzan had just been cheated by the Ukrainian mafia who'd promised to smuggle him to Berlin. The smugglers took his money and abandoned him in the Czech Republic. With Karzan's support, Karzan finally reached Germany on the 19th of February 1996.
Good evening. Iraqi troops have advanced into Erbil, the main city in the so-called safe haven of Kurdish northern Iraq. Iraqi tanks and artillery entered the region from which they're supposed to be barred. The United Nations says thousands of civilians have fled Erbil. The United States has expressed concern.
The Kurdish exodus is not a new phenomenon. 16 years ago, shortly before the Iran-Iraq war, Karzan escaped Iraq and went to Italy to study. Since 1992, he's been living in London with his wife Josie and their son Taro. Every year on the 21st of March, Kurds all over the world celebrate Nowroz, the Kurdish New Year. As a teenager in Iraq, Karzan was arrested and tortured for taking part in this festival, which had been declared illegal by Saddam Hussein. Following the Gulf War in April 1991 and the failed Kurdish uprising against Baghdad, Karzan's family in Iraq lost everything. They fled north to the newly created safe haven and settled in Erbil, where they now live in terror of further war.
For 16 years, I told my family, stay where you are, you will be much better off. But now, their lives are in danger. I have about 15 nephews and nieces, 8 brothers, 1 sister. I want them all to come to Europe because they think they will be safe, and I will help them to do what they want.
To make sure that they will not be cheated like Karzan, I will go myself to the safe haven and bring them out.
I know in this particular moment he has to do this, and he is worried about the situation in Kurdistan, and he could not live with himself if something more tragic happened and he hadn't made any effort to do something.
I had to plan their route out, and my first job was to contact various smugglers. I was using Rebwar as a false name.
Hello, Ewara Bash. Rebwar Ksakatin, Zahmat Nabi, Braikum Hey, Ewe Derche. La Almania.
My brothers don't have passports because they don't have a country. It will be tricky to bring them to Europe.
Regahea Zahmat Nabi, Dawai Chenega can live boy, there can bo Ingiltara.
I discovered that a huge network of smugglers exists all over Europe. If you have money, you can take anyone, anywhere.
Shall we go?
Just gonna have a cup of tea now.
I am worried about what Karzan is doing, but of course he can't do it without taking the risks. But if you worry about something, it won't make it go away. So it's better to really just think positively about the whole thing.
This is a childhood friend. He's sending me this letter. Dear Karzan, I am very happy. I am safe. After 7 days walking from Turkey to Bulgaria, then to Greece, I have finally made it. I am in Europe. I am not starved anymore. I am not in danger to be killed. I am in a nice, warm place. I am sorry. I can't give you my address because I am in prison in Athens. That's how desperate people are to get out of the safe haven. I must go.
Yeah. Where are the keys? Where are the keys?
You need to keep this.
Don't worry.
Keep it.
Of course I'll keep it.
You can't fly directly to the safe haven. First you fly to Istanbul, and then to Diyarbakir in eastern Turkey, or North Kurdistan. From there you go by car to the border with northern Iraq, or South Kurdistan. The whole area is under martial law, and there are dozens of military checkpoints. But the worst part is actually crossing the border into the safe haven. In fact, the Turks didn't let the camera crew through. I was stuck here on my own and had to find Kurdish friends to do the filming. When you finally get into the safe haven, you see this sign, "Welcome to Kurdistan." It's a real joke, because Kurdistan is actually much bigger. We are 30 million Kurds, but we are separated in 4 different countries and are not recognized as a nation. The safe haven only adds a new division to my country. It's not an entity in its own right. It's surrounded by hostile countries and now torn by civil war. The safe haven is nothing more than a ghetto. I had to get to Erbil, where my family is. Because of the civil war, there are several checkpoints on the way, and the journey to Erbil takes forever. In Erbil, I first meet my invalid brother Mohamad, his wife Galawish, and their 5 children. And then my mom. We haven't seen each other for over 3 years. She feels to belong to her homeland and doesn't want to escape. I heard bad news from my sister-in-law. Her brother had been killed in recent fighting. I tried to brighten up their misery with my presence from London. Unfortunately, I have difficult news for Mohamad.
دانشتوینا بصراحة قساكي أتوانم بوتو
بله
كارم قرض كردوه
وای
بۆی تۆ بگەێنە بە سەلامەتی بۆ جێی خۆت
منشەوەمێت مەمنون
تێگەی؟
بەڵێ
بەڵام ناتوان مناڵەکان بەر
وڵی مناڵەکان ئەگەر بێن لەگەڵما زۆر باشن حتا ئێستا ناتوانم قۆندرە چیە بیکەمە پام دەبێت مناڵەکان قۆندرەکە بکەنە پام دەبێت گۆرەبێکە مناڵەکە بیکاتە پام ئایلەکەم بیکاتە پام گۆرەبێکان خۆ لەبەر خۆم وا ناکەم بکە من بڕۆم بۆ خارج من لەبەر ئەو مناڵانە خۆخۆمە ئەو مناڵانە دەچن بۆ خارج بۆ ئەوروپا و ژیانی ئەوان خۆش بێتن ژیانی ئەوان
تێگەیشتم لەوە من تێگەیشتم لەوەی ژیانی ئەوان خۆش بێ بەڵام ئەگەر تو بگەین ناوێ
بەڵێ
تۆ لەوێ بۆ حکوومەتە بسەڵمێنی کە تۆ پەناهەندەیەکی سیاسیت
بەڵێ
تۆ کوردێکی وەکو کوردێک پەناهەندەیەکی سیاسی
بەڵێ
بەڵکوم ئەوان ئیشەکەی تو تەواو بکەن بە زووترین کات بتوانی بیتەوە مناڵەکان بەڕێی قانونی یابەری
The next morning, the first thing we do is literally shop for good passports in the market. For Mohamad, Kader and Kawa, my two other brothers, who will be coming with us. Mohamad knows where to go because he has already bought 3 different passports. But he was cheated and lost a lot of money. Apparently, you can buy passports of all nationalities here. But all we need for Turkey is a simple Iraqi passport. I feel I need to compare the different deals. They seem to sell passports like vegetables.
ئەمە ناوێکی کوردیش ئەمە
عندك ابو نفسه لسه في الزمن ناوي لسه في الزمن ناوي في الزمن قريته بعد كده لكن لا دروش تدوان
قد سنة جوازك؟
والله جواز هي بالنحسن هي بالنحسن هي بخمسة هي بخمسة هذا نهاية حبدها زاريتن
ئەو جوازێکی پێ شەخواش لا وانا
We finally bought 3 Iraqi passports for $6,000. It's a lot of money, but good false passports are vital. To cross the Turkish border on your own without documents can be fatal.
للريخ خشا خروج من على أساس شنا ناو تركيا أو شوي لبراهيم خليل بريبو نواني لعاوكا بريبو نوا كتبونا كميني تركيا وكجران يعني بوشتني يعني بو أمنا وأشتانا خوم لقريانا بو كبرد ما لاي دكتور تماشاي كرد هر خوم أم ديوم كردن حكمتي تركيش لا خوي حكمتي إسلام أزانيت يعني أوا هني عيسانيت وهني مروفنية بشتواب كريو درندش تيواناكات
We were ready to drive to the Turkish border and say goodbye. I warned my wife Josie. If she hadn't heard from us by the next morning, things had gone wrong. My two other brothers, Kawa and Kader, have now joined us. They also have to leave their families behind.
طبعا هيك فوتان بدا زم حكومته وبدا صدام لبرجع على كان من غريبيش راك يشينو لا بيناو من على كان ما قينا كهربوي من على كان من جاني خوش برنسلو وق وحشي نبن ملتي عراق وق وحشي لياتو ما قال لبرا وزور بيام خوش رقم خوي بن
The good false passports paid off, but my brothers still had to pay a kind of tax of $200 to get into Turkey. Things were more difficult for me. With all my film equipment, I had to pretend I am shooting a wedding video.
Hello?
Karzan.
Josie.
Oh, fantastic to hear you.
How are you?
Fine. And what's happening?
Well, I am here in Istanbul, believe it or not.
And how do you feel?
I feel better now.
Great. Oh, I could hear that in your voice.
Do you want to talk to Kawa?
Yes, I can't say very much to him.
Hello?
Hello, Kawa?
Kawa is my youngest brother. In 16 years, I have seen him only twice. Kawa had to come with us because he was wanted by the Iraqi secret police. He was condemned to death.
Okay.
مرحبا. Josie. Hello.
Hello.
من Mohamad. Hello.
Kader is my older brother. He was persecuted after having deserted the Iraqi army during the Gulf War.
Josie. Bye.
The first leg of the journey was over. Our next problem is how to get out of Turkey. On my way into the safe haven, I had already gathered information about smugglers in Turkey. A Kurdish friend had shown me a place outside Istanbul where hundreds of illegal immigrants were hiding. It's the house of a sheikh, a sacred man. All these people want to get out of Turkey, and here they meet up with smugglers. The whole deal is done in the house of the sacred man. After coming back from the safe haven, I once again made a pilgrimage to the Sheikh's house to look for new contacts. But this time the place was deserted.
ماشي دواي يارمتي كاكرين جيجا هياني
ما والله كاكا اللي راك جيجا شو نزل سلامات
انا والله خوتوني وثمان عليها نسين
والله كاكا اللي رامي جيران
جيران
بلى والله هذا مسنور داش كذا
هم يسنور داش
والله
كي جيران
والله فين دقه زار زندرميت
فين دقه زار زندرميت
انا والله كاكا هذا هم جيران دقه زوج اللي قبل الناس
يعني زندرمي تركي
بلى شيء
خوا
والله
يعني ليرة نميني
لا والله بهيش اللي رماني
As I was leaving, I was lucky. I met a smuggler outside in the street.
سعر تانية چونك امرو باوكي خود قاتاقتي بيعني دزبر بپرسه خلقك بپرسه
يعني قاتاقتي بوشو ادبع بوشو
ادابو اسينا ليرة وهي بتيارة ادابو المانيا هي ببي
المانيا هولندا
المانيا هولندا سويسرا دانمارك هي بتيارة بش $6,000
زبر داره وچاق سوارت كتشين
To be smuggled from Istanbul to Europe is easy if you have money. With $10,000 you can be on the next first-class flight to London. With $6,000 you can go to Germany, France, Italy. But with three brothers we just didn't have enough money. Our task was find a way to make the trip safely without paying the smugglers. We have Iraqi passports, false passports. With these documents, you can only get visas for Ukraine and Cuba. But once you are in these countries, Iraqi passport will be dead, finished. So we are trying to find a way where we won't spend a lot of money, and up to now, the via Ukraine seems to be the only solution. We thought about going by boat, but from what we have heard in the safe haven, you could end up in the Philippines, or worse, dead in a container. I also considered walking to Greece, but with Mohamad's handicap, that wasn't really an option. I take responsibility for my brothers, and I don't consider really this is responsibility, this is love. They need me. I needed them a lot. This guy, Mohamad, helped me a lot for my studies in Italy. Kawa, this time in the safe haven, helped us in order to have some money to come out. He sold everything. Kader is here keeping an eye on us in order to protect us. It's not responsibility. It's the matter of family. We will be together forever. We've made a decision. Our best option is to fly to the Ukraine. So we went to the Alibaba travel agency, which is famous as a specialist for Ukrainian visas. I had heard about this shop from many different asylum seekers. My brothers really like going to Alibaba because they have seen movies about the big thief who can do everything. They were sure if they go through Alibaba, they will make it.
بياني ساعات سيبو أوكرانيا ساعات چند دقات.
We paid $455 each for our tickets and visas. But there is no guarantee we will get through Istanbul Airport with false passports. But at this point, we want to risk it alone, without smugglers. Facing new reality, my brothers are sleeping a lot. They realize that they are actually going to Europe, which for them is paradise. This is not a dream. They really have left the safe haven. They wanted to have something of everything. They had gone without for so long, and they heard many fairy tales of excessive life in Europe. I thought it's important to show them how far money can get you. I showed them a brothel. They have never seen anything like it.
سير كامل ينتقل.
هالسيرة.
تعرف سيرة كات. شيء خلنا شو جرا. ما في شيء جرا. ها؟ ما جرا شيء. هذا كيس بغلنا.
They start to discover freedom in the West. You want to make love? Okay, but you have to pay. I think they were really shocked.
بالنسبة خو قورينكو يعني من السا خوم هسب خوم كم كر من طاو قوراو لشو لجياني شي عراق ومن لشو لسات متى جياني شي أوروبيو بلام ليرك بياني الرومبو مطار اسطنبول يكتر سيكم هي
أوروبا باشترى لبرا وي معاملة خوش لقى غريبة قدر إنساني أن لا هي وهي قر إيش يكتب يارمتي تكن إنزال لبر أو أوروبا قال لي باشترى.
It was easy to buy plane tickets and visas, but going through Istanbul's airport will be more difficult.
أما قبل قررنا ودواي توشي مشكلة بين بيتر تولا شو أميني تولا قال ياو بتشي ميتو تو بتني على راميتو
يبوي ولا بيش يوميا ناتسن تاقا أم درتشوية ماشين زابدواي ويا زاوز كان ما بدينو بي
أي أقل حالتك أم درت شو من درت شو إنجانيان هيش تدرتي
نه شو مدرسي
إخوة ما بس جيت لك اسم اللي قال أوكريا بس
I explained again and again. I will stay behind. If one of them gets stopped, the others must go on.
ترسەکەشم ئەوەیە لەبەرەوەی من پاسەپۆرتەکەم لە شێخەڵا دەرکردووە هەمووی مزەوەرە حتا ناوەکەی خۆم نییە وتیان لە مەتار ئەگەر زیرەک نەبی و ئازا نەبی دەرناچی لەبەرەوەی 25 زیانداناوە
Baygülker başaran lütfen danışma bürosuna Baygülker başaran lütfen
It's all going wrong. They have been sent to the police control. But in the main police office, they check the passports and they say it's okay. Wow, that's great. Back again. Well, I think we made it. This is it.
It's okay, we're gonna fly, we're gonna go.
Brilliant. They all go through. I just go right to the desk and hand over my passport, and here's the guy telling me, no, you are with those 3 guys, and I know exactly what you do in Ukraine. I'm gonna put you on a flight to London. But he slowly realizes I am not the average Kurdish passenger, and he gets uneasy and let me through. It's great. We actually did it. We all managed to get away from Turkey. But whether we will now get through the airport in Kiev is another question.
کە گەیشتینە کیف لە مەتارەکەی هەر چاوەڕێمان کرد دوای شورتەیە کات شورتەکە وتی کێ جیازی عێراقیە بێتاملە ئێمەیان بردە قوڕنەکە دامانیانە ترسمان هەبوو لە خۆمان
I have to react very quickly. What's happening? Have they discovered these passports are false? Should I go to the police and tell them I am with them?
جوازەکانمان لەبەرەوەی مزەوەر بوو ئێمە زۆر ترسمان هەبوو وتمان لەوانەیە ئێستا مانگەڕێنەوە لەوانەیە سجنمان بکەن
I wait as long as I can, but now I have to go to the desk. What will happen to my brothers? Will they get through?
وتیان پارەتان پێیە هەندێک پارەمان پێ بوو هێشتیان بینە ناو کیفەوە
It was a relief to get away from the war zones in the Middle East. But now we have to face a new reality, dealing with the Ukrainian mafia. We found a smuggler who had us picked up at the airport and took us to a hiding place in the suburb of Kiev. It's become known as Kurdish area. We had to pay $100 per week for one room. Our hiding place was unbelievably filthy. Cockroaches running around, dirt everywhere, Dishes not washed for weeks. I couldn't believe the landlady could get away charging so much. There was no hot water, no soap. We couldn't wash anything.
Oh, it's yours.
Our room was small and the beds were filthy. The sheets were covered with blood and sperm.
وافرتي كجوري داوا بيمان هیچ باش نییە هەموو شەیەک سەرخۆش و ڕۆژی دووسێ پیا و ئەباتە ژوورەوەی نێتەبان خۆی.
We met up with other Kurds who have been stuck here in the Ukraine for weeks. They confirmed that our Iraqi passports wouldn't get my brothers out of this country.
شلون برا باشن ساعتان شلونه والله بابا ملاواتين السلام عليكم شلون باشن اگر هاتو هاتینە ئێرە منطقەی کوردەکان ئەگەر یەکێکی وەک تۆ کارزان لەگەڵمانە نەبوایە یعنی پێش هەمووی قۆڵمانیان ئەبڕی و دەرچوونەکەشمان لە 100% نابوو.
Our first job in Kiev is to gather information about borders, smugglers and the routes they use. The plan is to get the best information from the smugglers, but without paying them any money. We want to get out of the country on our own. I am really keen to see the smuggler who cheated our other brother Kamran in February, and we are going to cheat him now. At last, I meet this smuggler face to face. But now he knows my face, and so it's too dangerous to show his. He's very relaxed. All he sees is $10,000 walking through the door. The Kurdish smuggler told me he had been an asylum seeker himself, but the Ukrainian mafia cheated him. He ended up working for them and has become one of the most powerful smugglers in the Ukraine. With what we learned, we decided to try our luck at the border with Slovakia. We booked our train, but we still had a day to spend in Kiev. We knew about risks of being stopped by the police, particularly as foreigners with our dark hair, but we couldn't bear to stay in that dirty flat a minute longer. It was so strange to see ordinary people around us, but it was impossible to take part. It was more like seeing a film. We felt we didn't belong, and we couldn't really relax.
چوینە سەر بەحرەکەی ئەو هەموو عالەمەمان دی کە ئاوا هەمووی بەڕووتی بوون ئەمەیە کە ڕۆژێ ئاوا بێ ژیانێکی ئاوا خۆش بۆ ئێمە دروست بکرێ چونکە ئەوان هیچیان لە ئێمە زیاتر نییە هەر بە شەرێکن وەک ئێمە و ئێمەش بە شەرێکین وەگەوە.
In the evening, we took the train from Kiev to Lvov, a city close to the border with Slovakia. Away from the smugglers, with a 20-hour journey ahead of us, we finally had time to reflect.
ئێستام ڕێگایەکە لە پێشمامەیە بپەڕێم و یەکجار ژیانی خۆم سابت بکەم. ئەمە دنیایە ئەگەر گیرامش یعنی باوەڕ ناکەم هەر وەک ئەو سزنەی عێراق بێ کە من تیای بوو هەر لە لێدان هەر لە کارەبا لێدان هەر لەوە هەڵواسین لەسەر کوردایەتی گیرا بووین ئێمە لەگەڵ منە چەنەها کەس هەبوو حکم عیدام کرا و بردیان عیدامیان کرد و نەگەڕایەوە.
We were all born in the war in Kurdistan, and we lived in the war, and every one of us experienced the prison and was tortured in Iraqi's prison, and we were about to lose our lives in different occasions.
زيش جيشنا من الصلاة ما جيشنا لا كسنس هر كتشكو بلا كراك لا ترسا والله يتر شو منا وشي وكارسن قنبلة هاد ببان سرمان زرم وشاخ كذا هذا يعني تياره هاد صاروخ وشي تيا قرد يترباجوا يعني تقريبا دور معنا كوتو أنا شبعنا نابو بنزينة بلا أو عالمها لا تكبو خوي بلا وخول ودهر وبرد ايش يابا
غير ماڵەکانە گەڕات تەفتیش ماڵەکانیانە کرد یەکەم ڕۆژ شۆرجەیان کرد
کابرایەک دوکاندار بوو وتی کوڕەکەمیان گرت ئەوە لە بەرچاوم لە قەت دیوارەکە گرتیان بە گولە نییە مێشکیان لە قەت دیوارەکە این کرد
ئێمە تۆپ لە ماڵمانیدا دوانزە کەسی بریندار کرد قسمێکیان مردن قسمێکیان شەلوکۆر بوون لەوانە کوڕێکی من شەهید بوو کوڕێکیشم هەردوو قاچی بڕایەوە.
We will always think about our land, our country, and I believe we will one day have a country called Kurdistan. I will never ever lose that hope. Whatever happens in Europe, we will remain foreigners, and above all, we will be always refugees.
The plan is that my brothers stay here in this hotel in Lvov, while I go and explore the border to see whether they can walk across to Slovakia on their own.
أو خط صوزية بريد تولى سلوفاكي أو خط صوزية بريد تولى سلوفاكي پەڕاینەوە ئێوە لەم ناوە دەبێت شوێنێ بدۆزینەوە خۆتانی لێ شارنەوە تاکو من بە زووترین کات بچمە ئوژگرات لێرە قانونی بپەڕێمەوە و بە زووترین کات بگەڕێمەوە بۆ سۆبرانچێ دێم ئەلێرە ئێوە هەڵەگرم.
خواحافیز ئەگەر هەلە خۆتان تاکو سبەی نادووسێ خواحافیز خواحافیز ها
The rain feels like a bad omen. As a foreigner, getting out of the train to come here at 6 in the morning, I feel very uneasy, invisible. It's not exactly a tourist area. As I get away from Brezni, the rain stops, and I start to feel better, especially when I see the goats. In Kurdistan we have a saying, follow the goats, they will lead you across the mountain. This is great. No one around. There is even a road of sorts. I was expecting to have to walk through bushes. Maybe my brothers can drive a car right up to the border. Walk a few hundred meters, and they will be in Slovakia.
That's probably the alarm system. This huge fence, I wasn't expecting something like this. I thought it might be broken down and it's not maintained, but it's actually quite well kept. And we will have real difficulties in crossing here. And you can see a pathway on the other side, on the Slovak side. And that means they are controlling this border often. So you have to be very careful here. I don't see any other way except to cut this fence. And I'm not prepared to pay $10,000 to smugglers. I'll go back to Lvov now to meet my brothers and to tell them exactly what's the situation and to get a good, big, strong scissors in order to come back and cut this fence and get through.
As soon as I left the fence behind, I was stopped by some villagers, and they really hustled me, asking for something about money. I didn't understand exactly.
No.
A few minutes later, a border guard arrived, and I thought, good, he will be a help. He's going to take me away from the villages. But he had another plan. I was put into detention. They kept on asking, which smuggler are you working for? What are you up to? For some reason, they were not interested in the camera at all. They only wanted money. After 20 hours, they gave up on me, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, they put me on a train and sent me back to Lvov.
Room number 72.
Yes. It's not occupied. This room
That's strange, isn't it? Maybe they are still there.
No, they can't take it. The key is here and we can't disturb people.
Yeah, but I left them and I told them to stay in this hotel, not to go anywhere. And they would not go anywhere. I'm sure something happened.
There was some reason for this thing.
Yeah, but isn't the reason?
Left the hotel.
Do you know if it's police came here?
No, I don't.
This lady know?
This lady is no.
They must be somewhere because they can't just disappear like this. In the end, I had to really work on this woman. Finally, she tells the truth.
The police took them.
They came here.
Yes.
That's strange, isn't it?
No, I don't know it. You must know.
No, because I mean they have visa, they have passports. I mean it's strange because police how they know that there are 3 people in this room and they have to be arrested. Someone from the hotel must have
There must
found.
be some reason that they are.
Yeah.
Right, you'll see the police.
Проводиться посадка на 221 поїзд Луганськ-Львів. Поїзд прибув на 5 хвилин. 221 поїзд Луганськ-Львів на 5 хвилин.
My brothers were arrested because someone at the hotel called the police.
شوهر بۆ بەیانی یەکسەر دایان لە قاپی
ئێمە کە نەخەوت و بنەوەیان دایان لە قاپی هاتنە ژوورەوە دوای وتیان هێڵە غەرازەکان خڕەوکەن با بڕۆین بۆ ئۆفیس من دوو خەریتا بوو لەوێ بنماوە دەسەکەوە کردمە ناو هین مەنهۆڵەکەی ئاوەکەوە
وتیان حتمما ئەمانە هەرسیشیان ماونەتەوە و ئەم دوانش ئەم برادریان لەگەڵایە حتمما بۆ شوێنێکە چن تشتێکیان هەیە
نەداوت پاسەپۆرتمان هەیە ڤیزەمان هەیە
پاسەپۆرت ڤیزە توریست
They spent 2 days and 1 night in prison. They bribed the officers with $150 and were put on a train back to Kiev. They actually jumped out of the moving train and came back to track me down. We now realized we could not make it on our own and decided we had no option but to deal with the smuggler. The border is too well under their control. You pay, you go out. You don't pay, you stay. So we took the next train back to Kiev to find the smuggler once again. My brothers have to stay with the smuggler and wait for the next shipment to Berlin. They are as much at risk of being cheated as Cameron.
کابرای زابوت و تیتو خەڵک کوێی وتم من حەزەکەم یعنی بە سەلامەتی بگەینێ گرتن و شتی وا و لەبەر قاچشم ڕێگای زۆر تیابێ یاخو قیتار بڕوا و من خۆم فرێدەم بۆ ناوی یان سیارە بڕوا و برێندەی ڕاکە بەدوایە و ئەو شتانە لە دڵمان نەختێ قەلەقە
I feel very sad abandoning my brothers and seeing them so depressed. I feel I've let them down.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Taro.
Hello, sweetheart.
Thank you very much.
1,000 kisses to you and...
Thank you. And from us back. And everyone here sends their love to you.
Taro!
Come on, say something to Daddy. Taro, Baba!
When I called Josie from Kiev, I felt really down because I had promised to be back for my son's first birthday.
1,000 kisses to you and Taro!
Because I realized I had failed. We had to pay $10,000 to the smuggler, and I had no guarantee that I will see my brothers again.
Good luck, Karzan.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I want to be back as soon as I can. But it's much more difficult than I was thinking. I don't know if we are doing the right thing. We don't have any other options. We will make it. I'm sure we will.
At the Ukraine-Slovak border, our train was searched for more than 2 hours.
Iraq, no? Yeah, that's right. I'm Kurdish from Kurdistan.
Yes, that's right.
It was an incredibly tough control. Why all this effort? It finally clicked. The smuggling business must be one of the best in the country. What they really want is to make absolutely sure no immigrants leave the Ukraine without paying.
Airport. What's that? It's my passport. It is my passport. Oh, yeah? Yes, it is.
It's amazing to imagine that my brothers will also leave the Ukraine by train, but without any documents. The scale of this human trade must be huge. And it doesn't just involve Kurds. There are many other nationalities as well. They come in groups of 100 people, hidden in locomotives, each paying $3,500. This means 3 train loads will earn a smuggler $1 million. I had information that my brothers made it safely to Czech Republic. So I phoned the Prague smuggler yesterday to find out what time my brothers would arrive in Berlin. He told me that they had been arrested by the German police on the border. But he didn't tell me where, when, or how. So he asked me to call back this morning.
The bastard must be asleep or something.
Hello, بانی باش؟
جان باش بجيت باش كاكا
هواڵی براکانم چییە جانە؟
جان والله كاكا هێشتا ئەوان دەرنەچوونە ئیشاڵە ئەمڕۆ وازام دەرەچن لەگەر ئەو جەماعەت نینە کە دوو باست کردێک تو کاکا کەفی تەلەفۆنی
مرحبا، هذا الريبوار من برلين على الحدود. يعني راجعهم للبراغ ولا ما راجعهم؟ 8 منهم 8. يعني انتم متأكد انه اخواني 3 بيناتهم؟ اكيد اكيد. الو ابو جعفر، صباح الخير، كيف الحال؟ اي ريبوار من برلين. شو الاخبار؟
اليوم خلص الساعة وحدة.
يعني ساعة بوحدة يعبرون الحدود. واي وقت اخابرك؟
خابرني بسنتين.
2 2 ونص. يعني لحد الان هم بالحدود؟ يعني هم مو ببراغ.
لا مو براغ.
طلعوا من براغ مبارحة وبحدود المانيا. الو مرحبا. شو الاخبار الاخواني؟
خلاص كله تمام، هلا بس لحتى يتصل فيني الشوفير لاعرف وين حطون.
يعني عبروا الحدود؟
ان شاء الله.
عبروا ولا ما عبروا؟
لا ان شاء الله عبروا، هلا بس عم بتصل، عم بستنى التليفون منه ليقول لي وين يعني.
اوكي شكرا، يعني هم طلعوا من تشيك.
ان شاء الله.
شكرا اخي.
ماشي هلا.
مع السلامة.
I don't know how I feel, because on one hand I feel like maybe they have made it, and on the other hand is, God, if they get caught, finger cross.
But he lied. Fortunately, my younger brother Kawa managed to get a message to me. He said, we are without any money, we have no food, no drinking, nothing, and we are left in the middle of the woods, and we are abandoned by the smugglers and by everyone. And he asked me to go out to go to Czech Republic. He gave me the name of the village, and that's what I'm doing now, to go there in order to hand them some money,
because the smuggler promised that he will try again.
I met Kawa last night. He explained the new plan. The smuggler will arrange a car in Germany, but my brothers should walk across the border on their own. So I come to this border village early in the morning, and I just can't believe how easy it is to walk into Germany. No border guards? This can't be true. There must be a trap somewhere. But at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, as planned, my brothers walk freely through the gate to paradise, into Europe.
باوەڕم هێشتا نەبوو کەوا ڕزگارمە بێ لەبەر ئەوەی ترسام وتمنەوە لێرە شورتەی حدود هەبێ کە بژیرێن و کە نەجات مابوو لەوێ سوار سایارەکە بووم زۆر شاد بووم زۆر پێم خۆش بوو تری ترسێکم نەماوت ئینشەڵا ئاگامە جێ خۆم بە خۆم ئەنتیکەم پێ دێکەوە من لەناو ئەم سیارە جوانە دانیشتومەوە بەرەو بەرلینە ڕۆم ئێستا لێرە هیوای سەرکەوتنی
سەبەرەوە چۆ لێ خوڕیتەوە
سەبەرەوە بەرلین لێ خوڕی
Finally, we are going to meet up with our brother Kamran, who I last saw in Prague. He has been living in a refugee center in Germany since then.
دەی با لە چاوی هەمومان زانەیەکی لێ دەی حرامی کە دەی محەممەد بۆ یەک زادەی ئەوتە سۆتان نەگرە ئاڕۆژە لە بەرلین هەم پێتوان دەیەکەوە.
I brought Kamran some photographs and letters from his wife and children.
یەک جار تەلەفۆنم بۆ کرا لە منطقەی ئازاد کراوە لە کوردستانەوە بەڕاستی زۆر پێم ناخۆش بوو لەبەرەوەی کە جۆم لە دەنجیان نابوو حەزمە کرد ئەو کاتە یەکسەر زۆر یادیانمە کرد لەگەڵ خۆما بوونایە و زۆر فکریانمە کرد.
چییە کامەران؟ بۆ گیری؟
لە تەلەفۆنەکە دەستی کردە گریان و وتی چ کاتێ دەرمانەکەی نەجاتمانە دەی منش پێم وتم جارێ ناتوانم بە هیچ جۆرێ لەبەر ئەوەی جارێ ژیانم لێرە مەزمون نەبووە تاکو من بێم ئێوە دەربکەم. من کە گەیشتم ئەڵمانیا قەزیەکەم ئینسانیەن ناتوانم عایلەکەم بێنم پێویستیەکی زۆرم ئێستا بە کارزان هەیە لەوەی پێشتر لەبەرەوەی بمباتە ئینگلتەرا لەوێ قەزیەکەم بە سیاسی وەرگرێ و بۆ ئەوەی عایلەکەم بێنم بۆ ئینگلتەرا.
کامەران ئەوش جوازەکەت.
We had to have new passports to fly to England.
يدا باسبورت سبورت لا عراقي سبورت
Steratos Marcos.
We got a good deal on Greek passports from a Berlin smuggler. $1,000 apiece.
Now about Lovis.
Alexander.
The smuggler told us our best bet was to fly to London from Amsterdam, since all my brothers had already been arrested once in Germany.
ناو مەتاری هۆڵەندا کە ڕۆم بۆ بەریتانیا نازانم مەسیری خۆم چییە و لەبەرەوە قەلەقم لە پێشەوەی بڕۆم بۆ بەریتانیا.
کە بە سەرکەوتونا ڕۆم بۆ بەریتانیا و لێش بەلاجە سیاسی وەرە گیرێم لەو بڕوایم خەڵکی ئینگلیز زۆر پێیان خۆش بێ لەبەرەوەی ئێمە خەڵکی کوردستانی عێراقین خۆیان ژیانمان زۆر چاکەزانن کە ڕئیسێکی زۆر مجروممان هەیە لە عێراقا.
We arrived at Heathrow Terminal 4. I left my brothers to declare themselves to the immigration authorities.
Hello? Hello, this is immigration at Heathrow Airport. I expect you know what it's about. It's about, I think, are they your brothers or?
My brothers.
They're your brothers, are they?
Yes, they are.
And when did you last sort of have contact with them?
I was on the plane when they left from Amsterdam.
Oh, you were with them?
On the same plane, yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Did you come through this afternoon then?
I did, yes.
So you all went through immigration together?
No, they went first.
Yeah.
And then I went.
Right.
Yeah.
Why was it that you didn't stay here when you all arrived?
Well, I really missed my wife and my son. I really wanted to see them.
Okay. Don't start out yet.
No.
We may not release them. I don't want you to think that they're going to come sailing across. But if we do, you can come and pick them up.
Yes, no problem.
Okay. Well, look, don't worry about it. I'll get back to you if necessary.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Hello?
Hello there.
Yes, hello.
Right, yeah, if you'd like to get your car into gear, get round here, you can pick them up.
Yes, that's excellent. At Terminal 4?
Yes. Do you know where Terminal 4 is? Oh, you must do.
But it was not to be so simple. The immigration authorities decided to detain my brothers after all. They refused their application for asylum and ruled that they should be deported.
But Karzan is appealing against this decision in the High Court. After 10 weeks' imprisonment, the brothers are finally released on bail, with their case still pending. Unless they're granted political asylum, their families have no hope of joining them.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Bye, frozen. Frozen. Prison. Yeah, prison. Bye.
خوا حافظ
Yeah, prison. Bye.